Hello and welcome to
Closing the Gap.
Motorsport Diaries.
My name is Ari,
And I am Aranza.
and we are so happy to say that we came back for another season.
We did season 2.
2026. I can't believe it's 2026. First of all, like season-wise, this is crazy. I've been watching Formula 1 for 5 years now, I think. And every season I just think, this is it. This is the best it gets. Or I guess best is subjective.
Minus 2024.
But yeah, I don't know, and obviously now that we have a project that revolves around this, it's so much more exciting because we always are thinking about, the podcast, but also we're still as spectators and we're still fans and we live it and we love it. But I think that as a project, we've also kind of made up our minds, I guess, that we are definitely going to be coming at you more consistently, which we didn't really do last year. We did it for the love of the game, and as much as we're also doing it for the love of the game, I feel like we're stepping up our game.
Hopefully, yes. I cannot wait for what this season is to bring, especially with the new
engines,
new
design,
different cars. Cadillac coming in.
Yep, 11 teams this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be such an exciting year.
And then we're also entering the LN1 era. Which is great. It's amazing for me. And if you don't think so, walk away.
I think you're covering your LN1 shirt.
I kind of am, but the back is really nice too. Just so you guys are aware.
I feel like, we're going to do an episode where it's all a recap. This should have been it, but I feel like it kind of overlapped with the release of Drive to Survive. There's so many news coming at us. There's Saturday the 28th.
Yes.
So it's we're 1 week out from the first Grand Prix, Australia, and I think there's a lot that we want to say, based on
there's a lot that happened this morning. So we don't want to, as we said, there's, we want to do a recap of the last season. There's a lot that's happening already. We're mostly going to talk about our thoughts on Drive to Survive. Mm-hmm. I think that we wanted to do kind of an intro on everything that's changed for the 2026 season. Yes, so many rules.
But none of us are engineers, right? None of us are strategists. So I think it's going to be learning on a curve. There's little we understand still. There's no more DRS. Like you said,
there is, but it's
called different. Yes, yeah, it's called different.
And so in case anybody asks you for DRS, thank God that's over.
We don't have to deal with that anymore.
Just say, what do you mean that's not a thing anymore?
Completely new design on all of the cars.
Yeah.
Livery's still the same, but intrinsically, I guess. And 11 teams on the grid. 2 new recycled drivers, I should say.
Not recycled. That's crazy.
Valtteri and Checo came back, and it was a sight for the sore eyes.
It's amazing. I love Valtteri. Props to him for sticking by Mercedes last year.
Good.
His whatever his job description was for last year, I want it.
Because I want Joe's. Joe, my man out here, no unemployment for this man.
Literally, they were having the time of their lives just getting paid for doing what? Standing there, girl?
Learning,
Me too.
okay?
Me too.
Learning.
Me too.
And obviously we're gonna dive into this, but Fred calls Joe Zuzu. It's so cute. I would have never thought about it, but
cuties.
Now we're all calling him Zuzu. Just so you know.
And then obviously the return of the king of the streets. Please
give it up for
Mr. Checo Perez.
Checo Perez.
We're so
Mikael. Glad. We're so happy that he's back, as if you couldn't tell.
Truly gave me life.
I think it's a great addition to the grid in the sense of just the vibe. You can tell with the drivers is it's a welcome addition. Both of them are. For our Latino, Latino gang, it's always a win. Latino. And I think it's just there's going to be a lot to keep up this season with. and even in this, in our little podcast, we're definitely gonna try and come at you every Monday, and every Monday there's a race for sure. And then, like, kind of like keep that up so we can actually build some consistency and the way we deliver all of our content. We're definitely going to try and do more content, as in, just talking about what's changing, what, like, obviously, like, silly season's going to happen, all of the changes that's going to entitle. But like I said, like, there's so much to learn with these new cars. Like Max said, like, we know, literally, all we know, it's rumors so far. There's nothing been fully confirmed. We've heard things here and there. Max said they're like Formula E cars on steroids. That's all we know.
Well, I mean, based on testing, they seem pretty similar. There are a couple things that I noticed that they talk. Mind you, don't listen to me because I haven't fully watched like all of testing, because they were on our time at midnight and 3 a.m. So I would put it on before I would go to sleep, and then would wake up in the middle of the night to switch to the second
These are the results. Like,
literally, basically. So like I would kind of keep up with it during the night, but I wasn't staying up to watch it. But based on what I saw, there's not much of a difference. I think it's gonna be more of the way the drivers feel in the cars than how we really notice.
I feel like there's gonna be different, like Nano, for example, and then we've heard Aston Martin's having the most struggles. Issues. But I think it goes for all the cars across the board. Like, power units have been an issue, like, across the board. Yeah. Like, even if they go flat out, it's not as fast as they used to on the engines in the previous years. And like they have said, like, these cars are completely new.
Capacity too.
So it's gonna be, it's just like, like, we're tossing cards up in the air, and we'll see who lands the best hand. But like, nothing is written. We've heard rumors that Ferrari is supposed to be ahead this time. But, like, nothing is honestly... And they've said also, one of the biggest rumors was if Aston couldn't... Like, they wouldn't run if there weren't, like...
Yeah, they're not prepared.
Legal consequences to it. Yeah. For the first couple of races. And I feel like that's huge. Like, the fact that the car is not competent enough.
They're not the only team that has said that, by the way. But they are the ones that have been more honest about where they're at. Yeah. And said, like, hey, we're not close to doing much of anything. Not that they were doing much of anything before, but
Adrian Newey is the big difference here. And I feel like we all, like, obviously coming from, building the rocket ship that Max won 4 championships on, we all were expecting, and I'm not saying obviously like respect where respect is due, that man is a genius, but this is an entire new build. Like, the car itself and the new regulations and what was expected of this car is something that nobody has ever done before.
Right.
So, like, it's going to come with a huge learning curve, I feel like.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be progress, race by race, take it, see how everything goes, especially, practices are going to be very important. What should have been very important as well is the Pirelli tire test. We're not getting that this year.
Yeah. So this morning, Saturday, February the 28th, we woke up with 2 big news. We had to say it, right? Like, these were the news this morning.
We woke up with a lot of big news.
You opened whatever social app is of your preference, and if you're a Formula 1 fan, these are the first 2 things you saw this morning.
Charles Leclerc.
I was gonna open with the other one, actually, but okay, let's go for it.
I saw it the other way around. Okay, and that's what shocked me more.
All right, geopolitical issues. The U.S. launched an attack on Iran, unfortunately, towards civilians. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And obviously that, in the sense of, this is not a political, podcast. We won't do a deep dive on any sort of topics like that. But it is important to say that whether it pertains to Formula 1 or not, it has affected the Formula 1 world. Like, we are 8 days until the opening race of the season in Australia. We all know this. The Scuderias are all in Europe for the most part. So logistical transportation of everything that entitles in the whole camp, basically, like, from the car to everything that they need in the garage, the people, the drivers will get there. It's just a matter of...
No, because there are some, sorry to cut you off, but there are some F3 and F2 drivers that were also blocked from traveling.
Yeah.
Because we had all the testing in Bahrain, none of the cars went back to the factories.
Yeah.
They were scheduled to go directly to Australia from Bahrain.
So the Pirelli test drive, the Pirelli test is scheduled to happen in Bahrain, was completely this morning. They called it off. And then now everything that's what I think that's what I was heading towards. Like F2, it's kind of screwed on that front. F1, because they were either like not really there yet or just already on the way to Australia in the sense of transporting everything they needed. Are going to deal with the less consequences in transport and logistics in that sense. F2 and F3 are definitely like, they're still kind of up in the air if everything's going to go as scheduled. But for Formula One, there's still bits and pieces that they're not quite sure. So we need to keep an eye out for that. Yeah. Bahrain, scheduled in April, the race itself. It's up in the air. They said that they will monitor the situation closely. They haven't made any announcements whether it's yes or no. Like, we're still a month and change out. 5 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
5 to 6 weeks.
From
the Bahrain race. So, we'll
see if Aston Martin gets, a second chance and we don't actually go racing in Australia and they get,
that would be interesting.
A little bit more time, which...
it's unfortunate any way you look at it, obviously, right. And just, it's pretty upsetting, I want to say.
The way we got into the situation, very upsetting, and just
Formula One is just one of the many industries and many aspects of life that are dealing with the consequences of whatever it is that we're in the middle of. Led by very poorly decision making. But on the other hand,
we got some great news. Well, great news depending on who you are in life, because my entire For You page has been people crying and
no, we are so happy. I'm so happy for them. Like, yes, you guys, I love it. First of all, I love Young Love, and I'm not saying that as in it's just they're starting their life together so young, and it's really cute. Charles Leclerc married Alexandra Sonmilo this morning.
This morning. That's crazy. There's so many videos and stuff. That's the first thing that I woke up to this morning was all the videos of them just there. Mind you, Sky Italia, me and you, we're locked in, sis. That's where I get all my news from, apparently, because that's the first thing. Anytime there's anything going on in the F1 world, Sky Italia is the first person to announce it to me. Personally, thank you, bestie. But that's the first thing I saw this morning. I was like, wait, that's so cute. Her dress, beautiful, it was gorgeous, amazing. The car, everything was
so just tasteful,
beautiful, gorgeous. We love a royal couple.
Yeah, we try not to talk, obviously, about personal lives and everything, but I feel like, Charles Leclerc, no longer single. That man is taken. He's married, and we're very happy for him and his wife. Yes. And yeah, just the content we've been able to actually catch has been just full of, it's so cute, so sweet, so tasteful. So, congratulations to all of the Leclerc family.
Including adopted brother Oscar Piastri.
For sure. And with that being said, we're going to do our deep dive into, listen, this is where you stop watching if you're one of those people that say, oh, Formula DTS, Drive to Survive is for, them fans, the ones that came along when DTS happened. Guys are not real fans, blah, 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 blah. Been there, done that, not dealing with that. We're fully indulging in any and all content Formula One.
Especially after a long break. And by long break, I mean a month and a half.
Right?
It's
felt so long.
It's too long. And also, we are a safe space for any and all fans. I don't care if you only watch DTS. I don't care if you just watch the race. It does not matter.
Oh, but it's so staged. Who cares?
Right.
So it's like keeping up with the Kardashians.
Will we be complaining about it being staged? Yeah, probably. Because there's a couple little things that we're going to get to.
That's the thing, it's not a reality show. It's a documentary. Yes. But, there's many people that have come before us that have said this in a way more eloquent way, probably. But Formula One is no longer what was when DTS started before, or even a couple years after it started. Like, Formula One, every single season has continued to grow this worldwide, like, like, popularity. And the sport is changing with that growth.
Exactly.
So I think that just kind of saying that, oh, like, like, yeah, like, DTS is just a part of it, and it's a minuscule point of view, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth discussing.
Right.
So with that being said.
And, I mean, I do want to say, as Valtteri said, like, watch the season, for sure, if you really want to, like, get into it, if that's your thing. If you're just, if you just want to watch Drive to Survive for the drama and everything, go for it.
Do it.
Go for it. You don't have to watch the season if you don't want to.
Don't let nobody stop you.
But at the same time, don't have opinions on the season if you don't actually watch it.
That's fair.
I'm like, it goes both ways.
I feel like that's fair.
Goes both ways. If you want to have an opinion, actually watch the season. If you just want it for entertainment, feel free. 100%. I back you 100%.
I agree. I hadn't thought about it that way, but it's pretty fair because, like, if you declare yourself a fan of, like, a certain driver, a certain team, DTS does not tell the full story.
Exactly.
So we were saying, like, they missed, obviously, Carlos's sprint podium. On the whole McLaren side of, like, not calling a number one driver and all that, like, they missed so many of the actual frictions that might have happened during the actual season during Lando and Oscar. Like, they only covered a very small part of it.
They also missed whole teams.
Right? Like, nobody we did not see Ollie never came on our not once. This man did not sit on that chair.
This man was a background character. How dare you?
Oliver Berman
carried last season driving for Ferrari and Haas when people were sick. I cannot believe you guys put him into a background character.
Nano, I get it, because that man did not want to be in that chair. But, like, Stroll, we saw him 3 whole seconds.
The fact that he was even in the season was crazy, because there was nothing about him. His dad was in the season more than him.
Esty Bestie and Oliver Berman did not even make it to the chair. What was all that about, Netflix?
And you guys had a whole episode about Liam Lawson?
Yeah, that man got a second man that got, like, all of the screen time that I did not want to see on my screen. Pero, like, for real, like...
If you're new here, we are not fans of Liam Lawson.
We are not fans of Liam Lawson. The one, I can tell you I'm a fan of, everybody in the Mudmans. But the one people, we are not. The one people.
The one people.
Liam Lawson. Obviously we have our reasons, but, like, you have a whole team as a whole that is like a teddy bear, the concept of a teddy bear, and that is Haas, and they didn't even mention them.
No,
not once.
Not at all. They really flew under the radar, like 100%.
And they did so good this season. Actually,
they did really good.
They did really good. Like, they were scoring points, like, maybe not, like, obviously they weren't consistent or anything, but they did really good.
Dude, especially, they didn't even mention, like, I know it's not a podium. They didn't even mention, Isaac's, podium.
They did not.
They didn't mention that man.
Like, if at all.
Red Bull had a whole episode, and they didn't mention him at all. Yuki barely got mentioned, and he got a whole Red Bull seat. Like...
I mean, that's not a lot nowadays.
No, it's not, but, like, yeah, he got demoted to the principal team, but...
Yeah.
Hello? A demotion is a demotion. You gotta say something.
Oh, God. That kind of sucks, but it's so true. Anyways.
Crazy. See, now I'm heated. Bring me Christian Horner. I need a fight.
You got demoted to Red Bull. God damn it.
and now Isaac. It's Isaac's turn for this year.
I know, that poor little guy. I feel like that's when they're gonna be...
Laurent, you be nice to that young man.
Laurent, I love that man. I love him.
He is so...
Principal, yeah. Red Bull's team principal, honestly, like, I feel like, honestly, if anything, our takeaway from this season of Drive to Survive is how much we actually love, like, Jonathan, Ao,
which we
obviously.
Should mention, if you don't know who these people are, Jonathan is the team principal for Audi. and then Ayo is the team principal for Haas, and Laurent is the team principal
for Red Bull now.
Racing.
It used to be for Visa Cash App, but
yeah.
he came up. So when Christian Horner got sacked, before then, Laurent used to run. He was a team principal for Visa Cash App, Bulls, and then he got a promotion to be the team principal for Red Bull.
A demotion.
Yeah. Obviously, I have a complicated relationship with James Bowles, team principal of Williams.
James Bowles, you're
teeter-tottering. Sometimes he's on their good side, sometimes he's on the bad side, and that's okay. We love Fred Vasseur. Like, we love Fred Vasseur. We love Toto Wolff. On the heel, I will die. I love Toto Wolff. I don't care what nobody else has to say about it.
Zach Brown, it's on site. It's on site.
Zach Brown is, maybe this is the reason we get canceled.
You know what? And I'm okay with that. If Zach Brown is the reason we get canceled, that gives me more of a right to fight him.
Listen, Netflix, if you're listening out there, pay close attention. Like, why is it always like an accomplished, like Novak? What does Novak have to do with
a tennis player, by the way, professional tennis player?
Why are Zach's conversations about his drivers with like a professional athlete? Like, for what?
And those are the stage talks.
Zach Brown has the most staged moments in all of the season. Also, I do not need to see Zach Brown in every episode. Thank you very much.
Mind you, that man has no idea what he's talking about. And he himself has said, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm letting people who know anything about that do their job. That's why he's in the public eye instead of
Andrea.
The team principal of McLaren, which is Andrea. You know, he's letting him, you know,
if I was Andrea, I would be like, these are noise canceling. Please do not talk to me. Like, I'm over this.
No. And I don't know. And it just, like, it put a lot into perspective how he will just be on the pit wall and be asking Andrea questions.
Yeah. Like Will said. Because, like I said, during this entire season, Will Buxton, like, even a broken clock's right twice a day. So he got a few ones this season. Zach Brown, credit where credit is due. The thing that, like, what he's done with McLaren, obviously, it's a huge accomplishment. A huge accomplishment on every front. Like, a lot of people, like, including myself, will never be able to comprehend as a whole. Like, that is insane amount of work. Him leading, obviously, because this is thousands and thousands of people like behind the scenes doing this. But as a person and as a spokesperson, cannot, like, he is, I'm sorry, but he's like arrogant.
Yeah.
Like, the way he comes across and the way he is, because there's the difference between being unapologetic and the way you are. But even if he's not trying to come off as whatever he's not trying to come off, that's what he's coming off as. I think they gave him too much screen time for my liking.
The way I would describe it is that he's very American.
Oh God, no, we're not all like that.
No. He's very American. And like and not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, it's what he is, what the rest of the world think Americans are. He is the embodiment of that.
Gross. Of a thought.
To a certain degree. Because, like you said, credit where credit is due. This man has done phenomenal things for McLaren. He has gone above and beyond, especially for sponsorships, where, like, he was really good at, you know, doing that, where he's like, hey, I know where my place is. Everyone else is much smarter than me. Here's me delegating. You do what you need to do. Let me know what you don't want to do so that I can take care of it.
I mean, he's the CEO, so that's basically his role.
Yes, but a lot of CEOs don't do that. They're very hands-off, and they're like, no, you take care of this. Like, I'm just bankrolling you, and that's it.
Yeah.
He is very hands-on, and for that, that is something that I think as a team, everyone should be grateful for, because he really put this team, believed in the team. On the map. Yeah, he really believed in the team from the get-go, and he's always believed in the team, which is obviously, credit where credit is due. Get off my screen.
Yeah, I don't, It's very cringe.
That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't mind if he wasn't just so overly, like, I don't know.
We didn't see any other
team principals as much.
No, we didn't. Like, we saw a fair amount, I think, of most of them.
Yeah.
But, like, Zach Brown was coming every 2 seconds, as much as George. Excuse me?
George to survive.
It was.
100%.
Like, you're just like, where you definitely just graphic, like, not Drive to Survive, George to survive. Jesus Christ, this man was on everything.
I need to be friends with George.
I seriously.
If not for the sole fact of he just knows
everything.
Everything about everyone, and he always has an opinion. Like, he said XOXO Gossip Girl.
George Russell. Like, this man, I swear, like, I remember, like, last season, I was like, this man is an NPC. On racing, he is. Because, honestly, on the grid, like, when they're racing, this man can be doing the most. And hardly anybody will clock it unless you're following his onboards.
Literally.
But, just, like, on the paddock, that man is Gossip Girl brought to life. Like, I swear.
He's so funny.
On the Red Bull episode where he's like, I don't know, listen, the Verstappen's pulled a lot of weight in that. I was just like, George.
How did you know this? Who told you
Why are you on the Red Bull episode?
That man was in every single episode. Did not miss an episode. The whole McLaren episode, George. Red Bull, George. And then when it...
Sauber, George. Like,
when it was time to talk about Mercedes, he was like, oh, I don't know about that.
He's like,
that's your team, babe.
Kimi needs to start helping me whenever he can. That would be great. Like, that was all he had to do.
That's it. He said, oh, no, that's it. We're good, though.
Flavio. Oh, yeah, Flavio, by the way. Remember?
Y'all remember when Flavio did that? Right.
George, for real. Like, bro.
That man is in everything. Listen, I know Carmen stays. Carmen, by the way, is his girlfriend. Stays, like, entertained with him because...
How could you not? How could you not?
So crazy.
Honestly, God bless George Russell. God bless George Russell. He's definitely a character.
Yeah. And if anything.
And he was definitely he should host next season. He should just be the narrator or something.
Hand him a mic. That man will get you all the information you need.
He's Crofty 2.0. George Crofty Russell. George Crofty Russell. So I think if we start like from the first episode, the one thing that I think they did right, and they should do more often, the
F-175. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this year was a struggle, and like we should be used to it because that's how they've done it every year, where each team picks their own time to launch their livery. But F-175 was a good, like, just one date, everyone, launches everything. We have a good spectacle, everything, we have news, everybody's together. I mean, not that they necessarily have to be together in one place, but I think it's nice that we all get to see everything, and I think that was a good call on their part for that. Obviously, it was for the 75th anniversary of F1, so they made it more of a spectacle, but I think it's a good idea because...
to have an event.
The struggle of trying to find out what Cadillac was doing for the Super Bowl, and then they didn't end up doing anything.
Yeah.
on at the Super Bowl, really, it irked me. But that's Super Bowl. Anyways.
Honestly, from that whole like the O2 launch, it was so funny because you could, like, first of all, the way everybody arrived, and like George and Kimi and the tube got me. I was like, of course, like. Why wouldn't they?
Lando saying, "Oh look, there's Alpine. They look broke on that boat." And then
I know how Oscar was like, "That's not Alpine," and then like they actually go on the boat and it is Alpine. I'm like, bro, how did Lando even know this? That's hilarious.
And then they cut to George and Kimi taking the freaking
underground. They're even more broke.
Yeah.
And then when they're doing the reveal for Ferrari, and Oscar and Lando are doing the commentary, it's like, oh, it's red.
Dude, the best part of F-175 behind the scenes was Oscar and Lando. Like, highlight of
their commentary F175. Was gold. It was hilarious.
They're so funny. And I hate that they don't like doing media because they're so
they
funny.
are so funny. Honestly, it's gold every time.
I
they're
understand,
actually...
and I'm so glad. Like, that's one of the things I'm happy that McLaren does, is actually listen to their drivers and, you know,
not put them in that.
Not put them in something that they don't want to do. Obviously, they do still do some media, but not as much as, like Kimmy said in that one episode, that he had 42 media days.
48. I think he said 48.
Oh, I thought it was 42.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
On top of everything else.
Yeah, apart from all of the weekends, race weekends away, testing, all of the, like, that you have to go into the office.
And transpo. Like, they lose so much, like, flying and flying out, like, on top of everything else.
Crazy.
But yeah, I think the event at the O2 was pretty cool. I loved seeing the behind the scenes of all of the drivers and what was going.
Because everyone I feel like booing Christian Horner.
Oh, we can talk about that because
and Liam and Max going.
The fact that okay, so like, boo Netflix, boo on you. The fact that they tried to change the narrative, and like, Liam and Max know better. Like, first and foremost, that booing was not for Red Bull. The fact that they even edited that bit in where Christian goes, well, you know, like, they've seen us win 4 times in a row. Obviously, there's gonna be some No, that was not for Max.
Red Bull.
That was not for Red Bull. That was for Christian Horner and what he did.
And if you watch
don't try and sell it as something different.
Or even if you watch it back, you can tell it's the moment he steps on the stage, everyone starts booing. Once they reveal the car and Max and Liam come out, although I would have accepted a little bit booing for Liam, Max was there too, so I can't be too mad. Everyone started cheering because it wasn't for them.
It was for Christian. And the fact that Netflix tried to let Christian tell a different story.
Yeah.
No. If you're a new fan around here, don't believe that. Please inform yourself. That is
and that
not
whole
about
Red Bull episode, I have some feelings about that. But first episode. Last year was the first year in 15 years for Australia that they had heavy rains for a race. Mm-hmm. And then also, obviously, all the new rookies.
Oh, God.
It has been also 15 years since they had a big batch of rookies coming.
That many years.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was great.
That many rookies, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
7 of them.
And it's great. Oh, my God, it was so, like, thinking back now to that first race, like, so sweet. Everybody, like, it was a mess. It was chaotic, and...
That's racing, though. Like, that's part of the entertainment of this sport.
Which goes into all of this, like, switching of drivers and everything like that. New rookies coming in, old drivers getting switched around, moved, not, you know, it's a whole issue, especially last year.
Well, it was all triggered by Lewis to Ferrari, and then eventually Carlos holding up half of the grid to take 6 months to decide where he was going.
Yep.
But I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, Vettel did the same, you know. So, and then I feel like we've touched on this many times before, but Kimi Antonelli coming in, a lot of us, I will include myself, doubted it and doubted that it was a good call. He proved us wrong. Like, Kimi did so good.
Which is not to say that it wasn't a bad call anyways, because Kimi is the exception to the rule. He is obviously...
generational talent. Yeah. But you know what? That's the thing. I feel like a lot of people are saying, like, well, that gets said about a lot of drivers nowadays. But pay attention to their careers and what they've achieved in the short period of time they've been in the big leagues. Like, because the same can be said about Isaac.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it's just like, yeah, it can happen. Like, you know, like, Lion can't hit twice. Yes, it can. Watch. Like, you know, like, last time it was Max.
Yeah.
But Kimi is doing insane things for his young age. Mm-hmm. But Isaac is also so good. And
he just has to be given the chance.
And you're like, oh, not both of them. Yeah, not both of them can be that good. Like, or they can both be the exception to the rule, but they can. However, we can go into rookies and the new teams and their timeline to adapt.
Yes, starting with our biggest heartbreak of the season.
Jack Doohan.
That man.
We're gonna pour one out for him.
Literally. But also, I think it's a very, at least for me, well, for Latinos everywhere, very bittersweet moment because as Jack fans, he deserved more. He deserved better. He deserved more time. He deserved a team that actually supported him.
Yep.
He deserved everything and more to be able to say, hey, you know what? You might be right. I might not be cut out for this, but he was never given the chance.
But that's the thing. Like, you can't really say that I'm not cut out for this because he's been through the training programs. He's been through all the, you know, like the formulas, and to get to Formula One and not have a fair shot.
And the fact that he went through the Alpine like process and was the first driver to get put up from that same team, you know, that was a big accomplishment. And they didn't let him enjoy his time at all. Like, that was so disrespectful, beyond disrespectful.
The fact that they took the joy out of something that took him so long to achieve.
Obviously, like every other F1 driver, like, you dream of being an F1 your entire life. Like, everything leading up to this moment was to get there. And once he got there, it was pure and utter heartbreak and stress.
Nobody's going to give you their best performance under that amount of pressure.
Yeah, he was so mad, and you could tell he was visibly always upset. And to make an Australian upset,
like 4 races and then like, so like no driver is going to give you a good performance if you are constantly bullying them, stressing them, and putting like such a huge pressure on their shoulders. Doesn't matter how old or experienced they are. Mind you, this is still a rookie. So to give a lifetime achievement 4 races to prove themselves is insane. I don't care who you are. Flavio Briatore.
Which lifetime ban
should mean
lifetime ban.
Do you know what a lifetime is, Stefano?
FIA? Right, Stefano.
Like,
get it together.
Why? Like, first of all, why is this man back at all?
That's crazy. Do we not remember what he did? And for those of you who do not know what he did, that man deserves jail. Jail time. He essentially, allegedly, but he did get a lifetime ban. I'm not trying to get sued here. I'm not trying to get sued here, but allegedly. This man used, I don't remember which driver it was, but he used his driver to crash into somebody else so that his first driver, which I believe was Michael Schumacher.
It was. I can't remember who was the other one.
Yeah. He told his second driver to crash into everybody else, basically to go bowling on purpose, which I've asked for these teams to do that many times. But we won't get into it. He deliberately asked for it. The guy did it. Michael won, which is great for Schumacher. Love him to death.
Goat.
But that is illegal. And
he got a lifetime ban for it. Why is he back less than 20 years afterwards?
Mind you, why is he back as a team principal?
Not even as a Helmut Marko type of consultant, like if he was back as an
advisor, okay, maybe some leeway, but no, lifetime ban means lifetime, or should mean lifetime.
Netflix did something right in that point. Sorry, yes. Netflix did something right at that point where it was like put Jonathan, team principal of Audi, in comparison, in contrast with, you know, like they're very different managerial styles. And to know this bit, I didn't know that back in the day, Jonathan was, you know, one of the mechanics when Flavio was team principal, right? So it had been his boss.
Yep.
And he kind of could have learned from him. And I feel like he learned everything that he shouldn't do, and great for you. Yes, Jonathan, we love a supportive environment.
Learn from him things that you should not do.
And I think if you bring it all the way forward, and we'll keep talking about Jack because I think he got done so dirty. Think Alex and Pierre in Red Bull, right? Because Christian Horner has the same MO.
Yes,
Christian, Flavio, and you put it in contrast with Toto
And
and James. Even James has more motive, yes.
Yeah.
But still, same approach. James saying it's going to take Carlos time to adjust. Carlos, an experienced driver.
Yeah.
It's going to take Carlos time to adjust to the new car.
Yep.
Toto, like, there's only so much pressure we can put on Kimi because, first of all, that man is that kid is 17 years old when he joined the grid earlier last year.
Does it help Kimi that Toto thinks of him as his child? 100%. Because if it was any other driver, he would kick him to the curb, same as Christian Horner. But in this case, because it is Kimi Antonelli, that's what we have, which is good.
Yeah.
Because that's what he needed. And we'll get into this later as well, but Kimi was thrown in basically to the wolves.
Yeah.
But all the rookies were.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But like, if we we go back to Jonathan, right, with Gabriel. Like, Gabriel also came, like F3 champion, F2 champion. These kids know what they're doing. They've got plenty of experience under their belt. It's just not in an F1 car. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. You give them time to adjust. You give them this, like, it's a learning experience. Yes, they have practice. That's not enough.
Yeah.
And like Christian did the same with Liam. Yep. I'll be the last person to defend Liam Lawson. And then he also
didn't get a fair shot.
He didn't get a fair shot because Yuki coming in to in the Japan Grand Prix was always premeditated. Always.
Yeah.
He was always going to run his home race. Same thing with Jack. He ran because it was Australia. Franco, even though like the contracts, and it broke my heart when he said, I hate that they get to be right, because the media had this rumor circulating the entire time.
Yep.
And he was always going to run in Australia because it's his home race. It's good for marketing. It's good for everybody. Everybody made their money, right? And they were always planning to bring Franco. So in the sense of you compare and contrast Jonathan with Gabby, right? James with Carlos. Like we said, like Gabriel's a rookie, Carlos isn't.
Yep.
Kimi, he's still the youngest. With Toto, always different approach as well. With the way Flavio treated Jack and the way Christian treated Liam.
And the way that Flavio still continues to treat
Franco. And it's just baffling that if you don't nurture an environment where these people can actually develop their talents.
Them the confidence try to develop their talents and everything like that. Get comfortable. One thing is that the team, they get comfortable with their team. It's a new environment. It literally is the first day of school for them, transferring into something else. Like, yeah, they have been around these teams, they have been around these people, but they haven't worked with them. They haven't been in this car. They haven't done anything. This is brand new to them. And for them to come in and not have reassurance of like, hey, you're going to do great. Hey, you're looking really bad right now, but
we support you.
You'll get it. You'll figure it out. Something like that. And I understand that the way that this sport moves, there really isn't much time. And to the words of Christian Horner, this is a fast-moving sport. There's not much time for you to get it right. Cool, I understand that.
But 4 races?
But also, it took Carlos Sainz half the season. It took Kimi Antonelli half the season. You give a driver 2 races, and this is me, unfortunately, defending Liam Lawson. You give a driver 2 races to do what? Absolutely nothing.
But in a toxic environment, too. Nothing good was ever going to come out of a situation like that.
Also, knowing that the F1 fans, like the Red Bull fans, were not fans of Liam Lawson because of what he had done to Checo.
Yeah.
What
he continues to do every weekend.
Right. I understand that he's ruthless, he's cunning, he's not Max Verstappen.
Nope.
He's not anywhere close. He is a good driver in his own right. He does great in Racing Bulls, and credit where credit is due. He does great. He is not ever going to be a Max Verstappen. He is not ever going to be now Lando Norris. He's never going to be one of these top. He's not going to be a Carlos Sainz, who is a top driver. Lewis Hamilton. He's never going to be that.
In that level.
Unfortunately, he will always be a midfield driver. That doesn't mean he's not still a great driver.
Yeah.
But 2 races is just disrespectful. If 4 races was well, actually, I think Jackie ended up getting 6, but 2 races disrespectful and not.
And if you look at the results, if you look at the outcomes of all these seasons, of all these races this season, like pay attention to where Liam is, pay attention to where, obviously, like, not Jack anymore, unfortunately, but Franco is. And Franco's a good driver. He proved himself in Williams.
Yeah, he did.
Where Liam and Franco are, unfortunately, compared to where we can leave Carlos out of this one because he's more experienced, but like compare them to where Kimi and Gabby are.
Yeah.
Where they're in an environment that they can feel that they can thrive. Yeah. Or if they make a mistake, which is very fair in this sport, because mistakes do happen, right. They're not being snapped at.
Yeah, their only enemy is themselves. And that kind of, as we've seen with Lando, that can be detrimental to you.
Yep.
But you also need to have a support system, which a lot of these drivers did not have within their own teams, not necessarily their personal teams, just driver teams. Like, they didn't have anyone to turn to. They didn't have, you can't really turn to your PR person. They're just going to say what's best for the company, not what's best for you.
Yeah, like, for the enterprise.
It's kind of a tricky situation. And now that we go to that, we can talk about, the mental health of it all.
Yes.
Because, especially for Kimi, like, and I mentioned this while we were watching, that you notice the big shift, especially in a lot of even the veteran drivers. Like, for example, last year when Lando was in contention for the championship, when nobody expected it.
Yeah.
He struggled. Plus all the bullying online, all the bullying in person, the media, everything. He really struggled, and he said that often enough. And people called him weak, and people said that he wasn't cut out for anything like that. And fine, you have the right to think of that way, but at the same time, he is still a person.
Yeah.
He is not just a driver. He is a person, and he's literally telling you his feelings. When, we're used to Max Verstappen where he doesn't say anything. And cut to this year where he literally had his entire entourage with him every single race for the most part. That helped. It made a difference. And you could tell in his driving. You could tell in the way that he carried himself. Obviously, the first half of the season, he was kind of struggling with the car, and that was a little affecting him. But he kept going because he had the confidence, because he had people supporting him.
Yeah.
Good people support system. Him. Yeah, he had people there for him, and that helped him a lot.
I think if we, a few years down the road, looking back, if this changes for the better, I think there's an opportunity in that it will. I think Lando is going to be seen as one of the pioneers of this turning for the better, because unfortunately Lando kind of like did it on his own, and thank God he had a support system to navigate through those hard times where, like, you can get in your head, whether you are a Lando Norris or like the neighbor. Like, when you get in your head and you start like going down that road of like self-doubt, like, unless it's the people closest to you, nobody else is going to stop you.
Exactly.
And we talked about this watching it, like the fact that we had 6 rookies across the board this season, and they were all in their younger days. We talk about, well, Oscar was young, like Lando wasn't as young when he started, like being an actual top driver. He was already like, in his,
had a couple years under the belt.
Yeah. But these rookies came in, like Kimi was 17. He was still going to school. He was still presenting exams.
Yeah.
No driver's license. And, like Ollie, like all of them they're kids. They're 18, 19 years old. What did we know? Any of us knew at 18, 19 years old, you can be a high performance athlete and still not know how to navigate in a healthy way your mental issues, right?
Exactly.
So we were talking about how we think that the sport has, what we said at the beginning of the episode, the sport has grown so much in the last few years that maybe it's kind of like, it's not that they don't want to, it's just that they haven't thought how to prepare. And this was the first time that we had this many rookies that were this young coming to the grid. So maybe this is the first time, and you live and you learn and you try and you learn and you make mistakes and you learn. But are we really going to learn from this? Because what we said was that maybe not the FIA, but the sport in general, like teams themselves can help, just make that transition easier, or like make that liaison, because a lot of the times, and I told her, Carlos pulls up with all of his entourage on top of that paddock. Like Gaco's with him, Teto's with him. All of these people are with him every weekend.
Team behind him.
And, they're trainers and they're coaches. And that also sometimes comes with the means. Like, if they start making money, they have the means to hire, like they have their personal training coach. They have their personal, whatever it is. Like, if your therapist is coming with you, good for you.
Yeah.
But that means because you have the money to pay them. Sometimes
but
the rookies.
Because it was his choice to do it.
Exactly. But the rookies don't really have an option. Like, they don't know any better. Like, Ollie will bring his dad, his, like his family, and good for him.
And even then, they can't, because they don't make as much money. So I believe Ollie has talked about this before, is that they don't make enough money. They get 2 passes per driver per race.
Yeah.
They don't pay for a hotel. Like, he himself would have to pay for his parents' travel and where he's staying.
On their rookie years, they're not making, like, their first year, they're not making enough money for all that.
Unless they have sponsors, which, like, I don't think any of the rookies have personal sponsors yet.
Yeah, no.
They don't have personal sponsors yet, which is where most of the veteran drivers make their money, apart from their contracts and where they're performing.
They're millionaire contracts.
Yeah, exactly, which I don't think they see because of taxes, a lot of that money, but, we digress.
In Monaco, they see most of it.
Well, depends. Tax evading kings.
But yeah, no, I feel like that's the one thing that we can say for the rookies. I feel like all of the, not the worst things, but like all of the negative things in a sense that could have happened, they all added up, and it created this recipe for like that we feel like the rookies were not supported enough psychologically. This past season.
What brought this conversation on was the episode where Kimi is in Italy, and obviously, like, he does not understand, like, these drivers are prepared for driving. Like, they are built for driving, they're trained for driving, doing all these circuits, dealing with the team. Like, even then, it's like, still, they're not fully prepared for that, but that's what they're prepared for. What they're not prepared for is the media, the fans, people, social media. Yeah, social media too. Like, they're not prepared for that. There's a scene in the show where they tell Kimi, like, oh yeah, like, we'll walk behind you so that everyone can see you. He's like, what do you mean everyone? And then it pans to everyone at this mall or something.
Yeah, it's an event.
Yeah. And there's, like, fans, like, banging on the windows, and he, like, you can see it in his face. And he
says it. He says, like, I am very overwhelmed.
Yeah, and he actually says it multiple times within the season, and he said it all throughout last year, But it is very overwhelming. Like, he's 18 years old. Yeah, and, like, that's the one thing that F1 or just the teams in general just don't prepare them for, is the amount of people that are just going to recognize you on the street. Granted, we will give the benefit of the doubt that it's something newer that hasn't happened within the
this sport wasn't popular 4 years ago.
Right. Like barely anybody knew, other than if you watch Netflix, you've seen the show, but nobody actually transferred, like, not many people transferred from Netflix into.
But the popularity of the sport and the popularity of the drivers is something that it's new. Yes. Like, not brand new,
especially the popularity of the drivers.
They're not used to it.
Big scale,
a huge scale, like a world scale. It's just it's new. It's been around for and I think even on the show, somebody said it. It's like Lewis himself, Hamilton, Sir Lewis Hamilton, was able to walk down the street in New York City without getting stopped 5 years ago, and he was already, mind you, 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, right? Exactly. Max. Nobody would stop them. Nobody would care. Like, this is the popularity on a worldwide stage is something that is recent. Yeah. It's something that's only been happening for less than a handful of years. And the rookies, unfortunately, were thrown into the mix with all of these things against them.
I mean, even the veteran drivers, like, they've only known it on this giant scale pretty much for maybe 2-3 years. Yeah, 3 years. It's still, like, I'm sure it's an adjusting period to be doing all of this. I think the only team that actually has experience as big as this has always and forever been Ferrari.
Yep.
And Charles Leclerc.
Yep.
because of Ferrari and because of Monaco. Like,
and you can tell when a driver doesn't mind it. Maybe I won't go as far to say as enjoy it, but like when they don't really mind it, and you can tell Charles handles it. Second
nature.
Yeah, Charles handles it beautifully.
Yeah,
and he's used to it.
Yeah. But because that's been his life since he got into the team,
Ferrari kind of also preps them for that.
Exactly, because they know what a big team they are, and unfortunately, if the rest of the teams can learn from Ferrari. Don't follow anything that they do to their cars, but just learn the media aspect and how to handle, because truly Charles masterclass.
Yeah. I mean, and Lewis obviously, but like he's been around for 20 years.
Right, but
like,
Lewis,
it would be.
That's the difference though. Lewis made that choice. He deliberately has put himself in the media.
Yeah.
He spent 2014, 2015 hanging out with the Kardashians, putting himself in the media, on purpose.
But
what Hamilton.
What I'm trying to say with this conversation is what a blessing. Like what a blessing, because Lewis got a choice.
Yes.
And he chose to go that route. Mm-hmm. The rookies didn't.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone else got pretty much thrown into this.
20 years younger.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times this wisdom obviously comes with experience. Like they're not there at all. So I'm glad, like, for example, Toto's there for Kimi. And I'm glad, like Jonathan is there for Gabby. I know like Ayo's doing great with, even though we don't see it, Ayo's doing great with Ollie. Otherwise he would not be there. And their teammates also play a huge part of this. Like Nico with Gabby.
You know which
Esty
driver
with Ollie
is the most like with the rookies, which makes me sad for little him, but very happy for all the rookies.
I know where you're going with this.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Because that man got bullied and thrown every which way by Sir Lewis Hamilton himself, and got they in a way same as Jackie, just not by his team but by the rest of the drivers. He just got told off. He just got,
he came into the sport at a very everybody was a tough ass, I feel like. Yeah,
everyone was so mean to him. Nobody really wanted to talk to him. They're like, ugh, it's the new kid, whatever. And then he basically had to just figure everything else himself. Nothing.
But I mean, no disrespect to Max Verstappen, I love the guy.
Yeah.
But that's how it was before. That's not a single instance that happened.
No, it's not.
All of the rookies came, and unfortunately the culture was that,
But because of that, he is now, every single rookie that comes in, he is the first person to say, hi, hello, you're going to do great. Welcome.
What race was it that we were like, Jesus Christ? Because somebody crashed into him, and we thought it was George, and it ended up being Kimi, right? I can't remember which race it was. It's like, thank Jesus it was Kimi, because if it was George, it was on site. Like,
literally, especially those two. Yeah.
But it was Kimi, and he was just like,
is he okay?
It's okay.
He's like, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Happens.
No, that man.
Yeah. And then especially him and Gabby Bortoleto, or with Kimi, there's a video of him. They were at a driver's parade, but there's two separate cars that the drivers go on. Max happened to be in the one that was he was already on. Kimi was talking to him, and then you just see them take Kimi away from him, and then he doesn't know what to do with his life. He's looking
where's my
around,
Kimi going?
Yeah, it's like, where's he going? Where are you guys taking him? We can't be together.
And I love how they kind of adopted their the ones that are their faves, because Isaac always goes to Lewis.
Of course. So would I.
They're can't blame him. But yeah, they kind of got their little groups going on. I love it.
And of course we love that all Spanish speaking drivers, Hispanics,
gang up,
all come together. And now from the photo shoot for this year for the full drivers, as soon as Checo came in, everyone got together.
Franco, Carlos, Nano, they're all like, zoop.
Yeah, they said, our team is back together.
I love
so
love
good.
that they're like sticking with like because honestly, like we all know that's when the best gossip happens.
Literally. And I love that even though Checo wasn't there last year and he's a big influence in pulling Franco and like making sure that he's okay and he's good, that Carlos and Nano didn't like leave him. They were still like, you can see a lot of the times that Carlos would go up to Franco and be like, "You good? Okay, cool."
And Nano and like and we talked about this when we were watching the show, like Nano and Carlos aren't that nurturing. Like you can tell they don't really hang out with their rookies, but they do it in
like
Franco.
They're like this.
But they do it in Franco, and I think that's why. Because, you know, like, because of the language bond and the culture, and I personally think that's why.
I think so, too, and it's true, like, I mean, languages bring each other together, especially, like, Charles and Pierre, although they are, like, you know, they grew up together and do everything, they're, like, best friends, but also, I mean, Esteban talks to Checo as well because he also speaks Spanish. He'll talk to the Spanish-speaking drivers and be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" You know, like Esteban is everywhere, and I love that for him.
He is bestie. I don't know. I mean, he's everybody's bestie. Yeah. Like he flies under the radar, but he's such a great addition to the grid. I think
he's great. I hope he stays for a while.
I hope he stays forever.
All right.
I hope he follows Nano's lead. So another thing that I feel like we need to touch on was McLaren.
Again.
Has to be talked.
Again.
Unfortunately.
The way... All right. There's actually a lot to talk about on McLaren.
There is okay, so this is my bad actually. We did shoot an episode after Abu Dhabi where we talk about obviously how the season ended and the championship
canceled for sure.
Gone down. Maybe we'll release bits and pieces of it. I don't know, but I never edited it, so it's living forever in the drive. Don't know if it'll see the light of day.
It might. We'll check on it.
So we digested and processed and talked about Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
And the championship itself, but to be honest with you, I didn't quite like the way Netflix brought it to life. I think they missed on purpose a few things.
Yeah, they didn't tell the whole story.
They did not.
There's a lot of... Okay, so I personally was, for the most part, focusing on Lando, obviously. And she was focusing on Oscar for the most part. You know...
And Max.
I'm saying in the McLaren,
like, yes. Oscar Piastri, my championship contender.
Okay, so together, we got pretty much the full story.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, like, we got the full story between us, and it's very... This is where I think Lando and Oscar did a great job in staying friends, staying co-workers, and, you know, not having any animosity between them, and that is fully 100% them. Like, This is not the team, this is not nothing, because if it was up to McLaren, it definitely would have been Brosades again, part 2.
Which, can we just...
Nico Rosberg coming out of nowhere to
totally left field to put in his 2 cents about what was going on in McLaren. Yes, Netflix, this is the kind of drama I will allow.
And you know what? If you don't know what Brosades is, it was basically the fight between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg for the 2016 world champion. Because it's a whole can of worms. We can do an episode on it.
We can do a whole season on it, actually.
Literally. Nico Rosberg,
look it up on YouTube.
Nico Rosberg. We will give you a platform.
We are going to Monaco this summer.
But it's a whole thing. And like I said, like, I think it was fully just Oscar and Lando 100% that they didn't let it get to that point because of 100%. The respect that they have
for each other
as drivers and as people. And also, I think they're just very similar and very friendly towards each other that it bothered their ego for sure. Like, for anyone it would. You're going up against your teammate, and ultimately, as a team, that's what you want. You want your team to be fighting each other, not fighting everybody else. But once you get to that point, it's kind of like, oh, this was teamwork till we get to that point, and now it's like,
everybody
don't like you anymore.
Themselves,
like we have to go against each other, even though we got each other here.
Yeah, I think they know they're both very smart people, obviously. I think they know that they're the ones that have the most to lose if they let that get in between them.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times where like we both got really frustrated at the team, at the way the team calls, and like, and I would be like, no, effing Lando, this and that, and you know, like you will be like, well, Oscar did this and that, but at the end of the day, it's and it happened with the clear and most like. We're not gonna talk about Monza because
we won't talk
about Monza, but I feel like the clearest example, if we were to take it out of McLaren, happened with Carlos and Alex in Miami.
That was disrespectful of Alex.
Alex got away with it. He knew exactly what he was doing, and if you don't know, we're gonna very quickly tell you. What ended up happening is Carlos was ahead and Alex was behind him. And Carlos said, I could use some help from Alex. However, the team on the radio delivered this message to Alex in a very gray area verbiage.
Statement.
The communication was not good. I think the engineer said, we need a 1 second gap.
Yeah. Oh, he said stay within 1 second. That's it. That could be up for interpretation.
And so Alex said, well, I'm about to overtake him, so. And then.
And his
engineer went, well, crack on?
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
What do you mean, crack on?
What do you mean? You literally got direct instructions. Not Alex. Now this is on the engineer.
Yep.
Because you should not have said crack on. You should have said hold.
Because I just told you.
Because the instructions were something else. You interpreted it a certain way,
so that let was me not what it was supposed
to be. Exactly. That is your job as an engineer.
You're the one in direct communication with them. So what happened was Alex overtook Carlos, and then Carlos, I mean, fairly so,
upset.
Was like, what the fuck? I just asked you guys to help me out for your support.
Right.
That
also, for a driver to ask for help is crazy because that's him putting his ego aside
and saying, can he protect me?
Yeah, like I actually kind of need my teammate now. Like I know this is supposed to be a every man for himself, but I kind of need him to help me out.
And that's when he said at the end, this is not how I go racing, guys. Like we're going to have to talk about this, right? Okay, so we go back to McLaren. And that is, if we were to like compound it all in one, that is what kept happening repeatedly throughout the season. It was the way, because most of the times, I will not say all because obviously the drivers make their own mistakes, but most of the times it wasn't the team because the communication was so bad.
Yes.
And because, like Zach says, we're not playing favorites, but this was a thing. Like, Lando wouldn't Lando would never be like, can you tell Oscar to do this and that? No.
He asked him once in Monaco. Yeah. He asked once. That was the one and only time he ever asked. And all he said was, hey, can he keep an eye on Charles? And that's it.
But it was always the team. Hey, Oscar, help Lando do this. Hey, Oscar, help Lando do that. Yeah. So, like, it would have been very fair for Oscar to build that, like kind of resentment against Lando. But without knowing that Lando never fucking asked for this.
Yep.
Same way that Lando would never get told that Oscar did ask for something. The team would choose to never tell Lando that Oscar had asked for something.
Yeah.
So in Oscar's mind, it was being like, well, he always asks me for shit, and I always do it. And when I ask, he never does it. Not knowing that the team is not communicating none of this to Lando.
Right.
And the other way around. So.
Which also 100% goes to show that there was favoritism on the team.
1,000%.
And I'm the first person to admit that. And it wasn't on Lando at all. But because he is the face of the team, he's the one that puts his face first. Everyone says, oh, he's just a bad driver. He always gets help from his teammate. Yeah, because the team decided that, not because he asked for it. And Oscar, on the other hand, never got any hate for asking for stuff, which, good for him.
No, he did got hate.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Not as bad as Lando got it.
Well, your algorithm is tailored to you.
True. This is where we collaborate.
Because Oscar did absolutely get hate. Not as bad. Never as bad as Lando.
One of the last times he asked.
But he did get hate.
It got bad one of the last times he asked for help. When it was closer to the championship. But before that, he had, it was just like, yeah, he asked for help. They didn't give it to him. So, favoritism. Which, yes. But at the same time, it's not on Oscar. It's not on Lando. It's on the team.
Yep. And I would say, like, it is a double-edged sword that the drivers take, like, always, like, it's always on them to show face for everything.
Yeah.
But, like, if Oscar and Lando did something also really, really good this season, was to show face for the mistakes as well.
Yep.
So, like, they would be the first ones to say, well, even though it was a strategist mistake, even though it was an engineer mistake, even though it was a car power mistake, whatever the mistake was, or whatever the team went wrong as a team, they would take the fall for it because they're the ones that speak to the media.
Yep.
So, honestly, like, they wholeheartedly deserve the Constructors' Championship.
Yep.
It was such a good season. Like, they made it a good season. Obviously, Max Verstappen, like,
coming out of nowhere,
insane performance. I think overall, except for, like, those little McLaren, like, kind of changing the narrative, and that they chose to give a platform to Christian Horner.
Yeah.
I think Netflix did a good season this year.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about the whole Christian Horner thing. As a Red Bull fan, I recognize the amazing work and how he got the team to where it was and, like, built it pretty much much from the ground up. Like Will Buxton said, like, you think of Red Bull and you think of Christian Horner.
Yeah, he built that team.
Was the team.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I don't want to say that he turned out to be a, like, terrible person, because I think this was a gradual thing. Because when it first started, or at least when I watched my very first season, which my very first season, I believe, was 2014, which was Sebastian Vettel's last year with Red Bull. He was great. Of course, it's a different dynamic, like we had said. It's a different environment. It's a different, like, everyone was cunning, everyone was going for everyone, so it was
everybody was cutthroat.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a different dynamic, and I think it's just the fact that Christian never let that go, and he thought that he could stay that way instead of evolving with the sport. He stayed there, and that in turn was very bad for him as a team principal. It just didn't work anymore, and I don't think he was willing to change, and that ultimately led to him not doing a good job and getting all this criticism. And you can't keep keeping on with the same things and hoping eventually it's gonna come back and work again. You need to, this is a fast evolving sport. As Christian said himself, it is a fast evolving sport and you gotta evolve with it. And he should probably take his own advice.
I mean, at the end of the day, he showed his colors. Yeah. And regardless of what, like, yeah, sure, credit where credit is due, but I feel like two things can be true at the same time. And yes, he made Red Bull, and Red Bull, it is what it is and where it is because of Christian. Thanks to Christian, yes. But at the same time, he is a man in a male-led sport that feels like there's no consequences to his actions. And so for that, I'm like, I'm glad you're gone. And because one thing does not take away from the other.
Unfortunately, the FIA truly let that happen.
Yeah. For so long.
Let him be comfortable in the fact that there is no consequences for his actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Same as how now that they've kicked him out, unfortunately, Jos Verstappen is now, I believe, in that position where he thinks there are going to be no consequences for his actions.
Yeah, that's still TBD. Flavio Briatore also needs to be gone.
Yeah, that was crazy. And the fact that Piquet, because of Max Verstappen, is back on the paddock because he also had a lifetime ban and nobody talks about that.
That's true.
So Max Verstappen's girlfriend, baby mama, she is the daughter of legendary, like, you know, Nelson Piquet, legend, but he got a lifetime ban for being racist towards Lewis Hamilton. That man, because of the Verstappens and because of their connection to the Verstappens, is now back in the paddock. Again, FIA, a lifetime ban means a lifetime ban. Get it together.
And this is why, and this is one of those topics that, like, as much as we want to not touch on them, is like, politics is intrinsically in everything, and mostly in sports led by men.
Yep.
So this is where it's like, all right, so was that like Lewis Hamilton's still here, still battling, still the GOAT. So like that is so disrespectful. You're absolutely right. Nobody talks about this.
Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, I was just saying that because like Netflix chose to allow that time screen to Christian to tell his side of the story, and I mean, just do better. Like do better. Like that was done. That was
more than enough time for the 3 people.
He should not have even started the season.
The 3 people that got way more screen time than they should have: Christian Horner, Liam Lawson,
and Zach
Brown.
And Flavio, for fun.
Well, he didn't get enough, like, too much screen time. What he got was more than enough.
Yes.
More than enough.
That.
We don't need more.
All right. And then I think we can wrap it up. We will come to you shortly after Australia. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, like, what we can start picking apart from the new regulations and the new cars.
Yeah, and then we'll probably even do like an F1 101, basically, especially if you're a new watcher. We'll do the rules, the teams, who's on the teams, so everyone can kind of place the names that we're throwing out there.
Also, if you are new here, you need to know that we are all about F1 Academy, and we're all here for women in motorsport. With that being said, Dorian Pont is officially in the Mercedes driver program.
I'm so proud of her.
Last year I said I give it 5 years before that girl is on the grid, and I think we are so on track for that.
Yes.
It
definitely helps that Susie is 100%. You know, within the McLaren family and everything like that. Oh, sorry. Mercedes family. It definitely helps. But if this is the way that we get women into F1, I am all for it. Like, Nepo
Susie
baby
Wolf.
it up. I love
Susie Wolf, Toto Wolf. They're honestly, you guys are the GOAT.
You guys have our hearts.
Yes, please adopt us. If you guys are looking for
some 20 something.
If you guys are looking for general support, we are your guys.
If you guys need cheerleaders, we're here.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, I think we're going to nicely wrap it up and call it a night. And we will see you next week.
We shall see you at some point next week, if Australia happens.
All right. So thank you for tuning in to
Closing the Gap Motorsport Diaries. Bye.
Bye.